Hello everyone, MirrorNexus here, otherwise known as Chief Archon. Just showing my landscape off. It is a 16K by 16K terrain at 1 meter precision. I've tried to make a number of different types of biomes. I have quite a lot of biomes, as you can see. Desert, terracing, crater, etc., etc. I've not put much in the way of textures yet because I'm waiting for release 13, which at time of recording, it's said to be about 2 to 3 weeks away. I have also quite a few filters. Basically, I've done a filter to match each area, basically, more or less. So, I have say a number of different types of terrain. This is my highest mountain, I believe. I also have a desert region. I'm really looking forward to doing something with this desert region. I'm quite pleased with it and the way it's come out. This is effectively an iceberg here that I'm looking forward to doing all sorts of variations of ice and snow. What else? This is going to be more of a like a tundra region. That's just one big fail here. I've got to work on this a lot more. It's meant to be some ancient civilization that's hewn the rock, but it didn't really work. This is my crater. In here, I'm going to have a prehistoric jungle with dinosaurs. If I can get my hands on them, because I don't want to particularly have to make those. This is kind of the main region. It's mostly flatlands, grass, and some woods and townships. Big city, if I can get around to doing that. This is my Rockies, which I'm looking forward to playing with. This is going to be at the back side of the crater. This is going to be a something like a jungle cut kind of region slash Caribbean type region. See what happens with that. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to pull that one off. So now I'd like to show what it looks like actually in Unreal. So when I'm working, I hit export. I make sure I've got terrain, elevation data set. I set it to raw, obviously. I use best fit and little endian because I'm using Windows. If I were using Mac, I would use big endian. I set, well, you need to set the bit depth to 16-bit, and obviously I'm not using Unity, I'm using Unreal. With Unreal, you need to flip the Y. I tell it to split, and I tell it to go to 2017, and 2017, which gives me an 8x8 landscapes, and I tell it to include borders, but I've done that already, so I'm not going to bother doing it now. I am now going to open up Unreal. I'm really enjoying World Creator, by the way, and I like it because it's more artistic. It's got its procedural parts, but there's a lot of artistic painting and shaping that you can do. So when let me just make the map smaller so that it can act as a mini map. When I import, I always use world composition. I enable that here, and that brings in all of my maps, which you do by saying import tiled landscape here. World composition doesn't load everything in because it doesn't need to. When you play, it will load the region that you're in from file, and then when you move away from that region, it will unload it. So what I'll do is I won't make everything available, because if I do that, my computer will scream at me, because that would be 64 2K by 2K landscapes. We don't want to do that, so I'll do one at the base of the mountain here, and perhaps the top. I'll do one near where the desert is. I will open one region at the base of the crater. I will do another region here, another one here. That's just to help me really get my bearings, to be honest. And so that I can jump to things quickly. Okay, so what I'm doing here right now is just, as you can see, loading up bits of regions, not whole regions, so that I can jump to them. Is there anything else? Maybe that one. Maybe that one. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so I'm going to set play. I'm going to hit F11 so that I can make a full screen. I'm going to hit tilde key and type stat FPS, and that will of course bring the FPS up in the corner here. The FPS for me is usually 120, but the recording software takes quite a bit out of that. I'm also going to go tilde stat unit so that we can see how the GPU is faring, etc., etc. Some people might like to see how much is being used up. As you can see, it's mostly green until I get to the water, because I have a water plane that literally covers the whole 16 K by 16K, which later on I will deal with properly. It was just for quickness, and that literally goes higher than red, which means that that is bad. In fact, it's worse than bad, but my computer copes with it. Okay, so running around. One of the things I wanted to point out was that how the terrain, I'm going to jump again, how the mountains do work at the height that I'm importing them, which I've explained in another video, which I'll put a link to. So if I go to the mouth of the crater, if you look down here, the crater is down here. When I go in and play from here, of course, it will load in. Unreal will load in everything that I should be able to see from file. So click, there you go, it's loaded in everything. Unreal Engine also creates LODs for you. I haven't manipulated them to any great degree. I just wanted to make sure that everyone could see everything. So all of this where you see it's a little bit blurry. This is all all of that is LOD level 1, because I've only done LOD level 1 here. Later on I'll do smaller terrain sizes rather than 2K. I'll go down to 1K, and then the LODs will be able to come a bit closer and save lots of memory. Let's go over to the my highest mountain, which is over here. It's pretty high. I'm very happy with it. So if I tell it to play from there, for instance, there you go. There it is. And if you look on the little mini map here, you'll see let's get rid of that square. You'll see I'm about here. I've not quite reached the foot of the mountain yet. But you see, it's a very big mountain. You actually can't see the top there because it's slightly back. But it's good. It's good stuff. I'm loving what world creators actually pulling off. Really, really nice. Very, very nice. The reason you can see so far is because of the automatic LODs that I've asked Unreal to make for me, which was basically just click a button and say, hey, Unreal, make me some LODs for this piece of for this landscape right now, and it says, okay. I love Unreal. Okay, so let's go down and have a Let's go down and have a look at a bit of the desert. Now, this is where you get to see what the water's like and how much it's taking up at the moment. It's going to take a bit longer here because it gets very whiny when it gets to my huge area of water, because it can't unload it, you see, because it's one big mesh. So later on I shall make it lots of smaller meshes, which will mean that it will be able to unload it and use a lot less memory. This is what it looks like. Can you see all of that pink? If you look down here, green is good, red is bad, and I'm right up here somewhere. So it's still, I mean, it's still giving me 119 FPS, but that's not the point. It needs to be dealt with. Definitely needs to be dealt with. Okay. Going up. Show you one last bit before I end this. If you have any questions, please come to the World Creator website, and you'll see me on their Discord channel, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. There's some this is an interesting area here. I like this bit. Let me see if I press F4. No, not F5. F4. F4. I don't know quite what F4 is, but I love the look of it. Let's get back to F3 again. Let's go. Whoops. Let's go up. Come back down here. Play from here. There you go. Nice little path. Do you see I'm here now? Just here. I can see this is some sort of caravan route with people with camels and what have you. And this finally is my Rockies. Do an F4. I love this bit here. Always makes me chuckle. And just off in that direction there's another path leading into another area. So that's just a few of the areas. If I were to run through it from end to end, not that you can because of the water, but I reckon it will be the better part of an hour to run through, but I'm really not sure. I'll test that and write something about it. Okay, thank you very, very much for watching, and this is Chief Harkon signing out.